Welcome back, everyone. The holidays are often referred to as the most wonderful time of year, but for some mothers, fathers, and families, it can always be a painful reminder of who's missing around the Christmas tree.
Yeah, I can relate to that firsthand. Whitney Clark takes us to a refuge in Paradise Valley that is dedicated to just healing.
On a quiet cul-de-sac in Paradise Valley, peace, a source of calm for the brokenhearted.
I have had 2 suicides in my life. And one was my husband, which was 21 years ago, and then my son a year and a half ago.
EricsHouse is a safe place for mothers like Susie Pallos, who understand the earth-shattering pain of losing a child.
I just had no way to cope with this. It was just, I absolutely had no way to cope.
Susie's husband Dan was 53 when he died by suicide. Decades later, her son Tom was 51, but he'll always be her little boy.
Your son, your children, as a mother, you want to help them. You want to solve all their problems.
Thanks to a friend, Susie's unbearable grief led her to this house turned nonprofit.
We specialize in suicide and overdose loss, but we also help people who have lost somebody they love suddenly.
EricsHouse founder Marianne Govea knows that heartache. Her son Eric was 27 when she lost him to suicide.
I spent months just trying to sort through what happened because I was going to take him to breakfast the next morning. And the next morning I found him.
A wrestler for Brophy, a serious wrist injury meant Eric needed multiple surgeries. Eventually, he had access to medically prescribed OxyContin, hundreds of pills a month.
You know, at some point, OxyContin wasn't working for him anymore. At some point, his situation became less about pain and more about addiction, and he transitioned to heroin.
Eric did really well in a sober living facility, then relapsed in 2015 and passed away a few months later.
Everybody's grief journey is different, but for me, accepting the loss was the biggest part of the journey. I felt like my life and everything I believed to be true about life was completely destroyed.
Now Marianne guides others through their journey after a devastating traumatic loss through the organization named after her son, a kind, compassionate young man who even had a tattoo of the word family.
If there's any one thing that I really miss about Eric is his belly laugh. He just laughed so purely and he was just full of joy most of the time.
There's a photo of him at Eric's house, and each room is dedicated to a special person that is dearly missed.
And his jersey.
Giving emotional, physical, and spiritual support, an honor and privilege for Marianne. Eric's house does counseling, holistic health like acupuncture, meditation, and much more. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach.
We believe people are experts in their own grief, that my journey's not the same as their journey.
For Susie, the support group for women has been life-changing.
It's been helpful to get it out. It's also, I realized that I can also feel better. I can help other people as well.
The holidays will never be the same without her husband and son, who she's grieved differently. Tom, just a fun guy to be around and the most observant person she's ever known, even as a baby.
He always said he was the baby in the family and he was going to keep it that way. He had a lot of toys, boy toys, you know, his ATVs, his canoe.
Susie's message, if you're in despair, reach out.
It may or may not solve your issue, but you're not alone in this world. There's a lot of people that can help you.
Hope is waiting at Eric's house, where they say they'll hold your heart in their hands. In Paradise Valley, Whitney Clark for Arizona's Family.
Yeah, you know, I can say that despite how painful their losses were, they've come a long way just to be able to talk about this as candidly as they were just in that story and also on TV. So the healing is happening, but we're lucky that this place is around to help heal even more.
You know, I had the pleasure of actually meeting the folks at Eric's house. I was hosting a mental health summit back in, I believe, the end of August, beginning of September, and that's how I met them and heard their incredible story and just, you know, addiction and suicide. it all really tangles into mental health, you know, and to be able to meet them and know what the purpose is that they're out there doing to help these parents of children who do commit suicide, what they're doing is really powerful stuff and meaningful stuff.
Yeah, and to hear stories actually helps other people. So even though you can see the tears coming as they're telling these stories, I'm sure they know, and EricsHouse obviously knows that other people are hearing their stories and it's helping them heal as well.
Yeah, especially around the holidays too. And because EricsHouse is a nonprofit, they do rely yet on donations. So every time, every session, it is subsidized by donors. They have all members of income ranges. EricsHouse says that they will never turn somebody away based on their ability to pay. So well done, Whitney Clark, with that story.